Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Who's this?
Who's this?
Tell me your name and I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
What's that noise?
Popcorn. I'm getting ready to sit down and read a horror book.
You like horror books?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite horror book?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Den of Vipers. You know the one where Roxy's the main character and she gets kidnapped by a gang of men?
That's not a horror book.
Well, you haven't read Roxy's character development.
You have a nice voice.
Thanks.
You never did tell me your name.
Now why do you want to know my name?
Because I want to know who I'm looking at.
What did you say?
I want to split you in half and see what you look like on the inside.
Oh, Daddy.
Excuse me?
Oh, I'll let you keep the mask on if that's what you like.
What did you say?
My back door's unlocked if you want to come in so I can sit on your ghost face. Hello? Hello? Daddy Ghostface, are you still there? Hi everyone, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. Today I'm talking about something very, very different, something very serious. I'm talking about something very serious today, and that is horror. If this is your first time meeting me, hi, I'm Gavin, but you can call me Gav. I wouldn't even say predominantly a middle grade reader, I'm just known for middle grade. But we are all about growing up, we are all about growth, we are all about going into phase 2 of the Gav cinematic universe. And it's strange as well because I love horror movies. Love them so much. And yet I have barely read very many horror books. And it wasn't something I would jump towards getting or reading. But I think 2022 is the year that I do me. And I do me with horror. You know what I'm saying? So the books that I'm going to be talking about today are the books that get me horny for horror. Essentially a TBR of books, horror books that are on my radar. You know, just the idea of reading these books just gives me a stiffy. I should also preface this by saying this is probably going to be a not safe for work video. Swearing, sexual innuendos, all of that stuff in this video. So yeah, if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, I'm just going to get straight into it because I've got 20 books on this list, or maybe 21, I don't know, I can't count. Okay, the first book I'm going to mention is a book I've mentioned time and time again in the past couple of months on my channel. So if you're a regular watcher, I'm sorry, I apologise for mentioning this one again. However, it did just come in the mail today, and that is The Lake of the Dead by André Bjerke. This was voted Norway's best, well, it says crime novel, but it's crime and horror. And it's just been published in English by Valancourt Books. I am already so excited to read it. I should also probably say as well, sometimes I don't know the difference between horror and thriller. Hopefully all the books I have in this list are actual horror. And I think this one is definitely horror because when you hear what it's about, I'm going to tell you what it's about. So 110 years ago in Dead Man's Cabin, there was a murder. There was a murder. And we had a madman kill his sister and lover, behead them, throw their bodies into a lake, and then he drowned himself. And ever since then, Dead Man's Cabin has been kind of haunted by his presence, that whoever stays in this cabin gets possessed by him. And then we follow someone called Bjorn who goes to this cabin to stay there and then ends up going missing. So Bjorn's sister and his 5 friends end up going to this cabin to try and find out what happened to him. Bad idea. Bad idea. Why would you go somewhere that has a legend like that? I do not know. But yeah, I've been raving about wanting to read this one so much. I've hyped it up in my head that this is going to be 5-star. I'm going to try and read it next month. Hopefully this will kickstart that love of horror for me. Maybe not. I might do the reverse. We'll find out. Subscribe. Okay, next I have Tender as the Flesh by Agustina Bazterrica. And this one has been on my TBR for a while. I have had it for a while, but I'm terrified to read it. For good reason though, for good reason. This is set in a world where animal meat has become like poisoned. And now the government has said that human meat is acceptable. And then I believe we follow Marquis, who is somebody who slaughters humans, and it sounds really fucked up. I am just terrified of that whole prospect of eating human meat. And you know, I guess cannibals is something that I'm both repulsed by but intrigued by. And I don't know if this has a strong cannibal vibe to it. I mean, they are harvesting human meat, but I mean, like, you know, cannibalistic family in the woods kind of thing. That's the kind of stuff I'm drawn to. So I don't know what kind of vibe this one has. I'm excited to find out. I've heard great things about it, and I think it's in one of the BuzzFeed's most disturbing books. I did do a reading vlog back in October where I read books from BuzzFeed's article where they they found out the most disturbing books that traumatized readers. I read 4 from that list. I believe there was a part 2 that has this on it. So I do want to do a part 2 of that reading vlog with this book. So I'm excited to read it. It's going to mess me up and I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Next, I have Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. And it's funny because that's what all the guys used to call me at uni who I gave gob jobs to. Oh fuck, a little piss came out. So we follow Kat and her friends. They are looking for a wedding venue and Kat ends up going to this manor house that is haunted, or at least it kind of manifests the ghosts and demons that are living within them. Apparently there is a ghost bride with a black smile and a hungry heart. So, it's gonna I think it's gonna scare me. I do get turned on by pretty short books. You know, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So the size of this excited me, and I do trust Ali's opinions a lot of the time. So I'm excited to give this one a read and to see if we can still be on speaking terms afterwards. So the next dozen or so books I don't actually own. So next I have 120 Days of Sodom by Marquis de Sade. Again, the only reason I want to read this was because it was in that BuzzFeed article and I want to do that reading vlog. So this was actually written in 1785 and published in 1904. But it follows 4 male libertines who go to this like castle in the heart of Germany in order to find sexual gratification or something like that. There's apparently a lot of orgies, abuse, horrific stuff in this, and I'm not surprised it's on that BuzzFeed list, quite honestly, but it's the only reason I want to read it. You know, I would never pick this book for entertainment alone, but I did want to mention it because I'm kind of hoping somebody in the comments will just like turn me off it completely so I don't have to read it. But at the same time, my interest is peaked now and I'm looking for things to really fuck me up and disturb me, so this is one of them. The next one is also a really short one, and that is A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck. So we follow a family man called Soren, and he believes that he will be reunited with his loved ones after death. However, when he dies, he is greeted by a god he's never heard of and cast into hell. He's put into this like vast library, and the only way he can escape is if he finds the book that tells his story. Apparently this is challenging and thought-provoking, and I don't know if I'm smart enough for it, but you know what, let's find out together. I seem to have a thing for haunted houses or like ghost stories, so the next one is White for Witching by Helen Oyeyemi. You know what drew me into this was gothic. That word alone gives me shivers. I love anything gothic. You know, atmosphere as well gets me extremely moist. And this one is set in a house near the cliffs of Dover. The mother of this family ends up going missing, and the people she leaves behind are reeling from her absence. There is not a whole lot to go on, and you know what, that's the way I like it. Keep it obscure, keep me leaving wanting more, make me want to read this and find out what the fuck's going on. This could end up being like every other ghost story out there, or it could end up blowing my tits off. This is why I want to read them, so that I can find out. Either or. Speaking of ghost stories, Ghost Story by Peter Straub. I'm going to be pronouncing everyone's names wrong as well, I apologise. This one apparently scared Stephen King himself, so I feel like I should at least give this one a try. And then I know if it doesn't scare me, Stephen King is talking shit. Apparently it follows 4 guys in this very small town where they've done something extremely terrible back in their youths, I think. And this secret has come back to haunt them. Do with that what you will. Is there a ghost in it? I don't know. Is Ghost Story just metaphorical? I don't know. This is a very long book as well. It's like nearly 600 pages. And I feel like for a horror novel, that could either make or break the book. It could either go too long and I could lose interest, or it could keep me wanting more from the tension. You know, this sounds like a story I might not be rooting for the main characters. That also excites me. I don't know what they did. I don't know if they deserve the horror they're going to be put through. But what can I say? I love it when men face the consequences of their actions. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, next is Child of God by Cormac McCarthy. And I have heard of Cormac McCarthy before. Never read from them, I don't think. I have heard of The Road as well. But Child of God sounds like it might be more my thing. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Have you read either of them? In fact, let me know in the comments your recommendations. I would love to know what horror books you would recommend to me. I do like things that are quite psychological, and it sounds like this book is going to be very psychological as it chronicles the hellish descent of a character called Lester. You know, Lester was released from jail after falsely being accused of rape, and now he haunts the hills of East Tennessee. And again, it's given me nothing in that description. I feel like this is a recurring theme with horror books, that the less you know, the better. The less is told to you on the blurbs, the better. The title alone, Child of God, does send a chill down my spine. You know, religion and horror together scares the life out of me. So I'm interested to see if that is something that is even in play in this book. Then I also have the Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. This is the first book in the Hellraiser series. This book was the basis of the horror film Hellraiser. It essentially involves a puzzle box, a mysterious puzzle box that summons these demonic creatures that don't know the difference between pain and pleasure kind of bites. I don't know. I watched Hellraiser far too young, and that was the first and last time I ever watched it. Should I watch it again? I don't know. I'm a little bit scared. But I am a sucker for books that inspire horror franchises. Are there any other horror franchises that you know of that was inspired by books that I should probably read? Please let me know. A more recent one I want to read, and I have heard some good things about it from a lot of people that I look up to on BookTube, is Neither Born by Christina Henry. This one follows a woman and her husband, boyfriend, someone called William, and they go to this cabin that is on a mountaintop for some reason, and she ends up finding a mutilated fox. She knows that there's something out there in the woods and something terrifying is happening, and apparently if William's angry, something bad happens. I mean, when I get angry, I get constipated. I didn't really love Christina Henry's fairy tale retellings, especially The Mermaid, but this one sounds like it could be right up my street. It's a totally different kind of ballpark to those books, and I love giving authors more chances. So Christina Henry, if you're watching, I hope I love it. Okay, the next few books were recommended by McKay from McKay's Book Vlogs, and if you haven't checked out McKay, please do so. He's hilarious. Hilarious. And one of those books that McKay recommends is Penpal by Dathan Auerbach. Apparently it's disturbing, it's creepy. Yes. And even the summary of this book confuses me a little bit. I don't even know how to regurgitate it to you. But apparently a man investigates the seemingly disconnected traumas of his past and tries to piece them all together in order to better understand them. Turns out that all of these different fragments of, you know, his past come together. They do relate, they do correlate with each other, and horror happens. But McKay's favorite book of all time, the one that I definitely wanted to include, was Survivor by J.F. Gonzalez. That one sounds like it might fuck me up. It sounds like it might be a little bit too much as well, which again, I love pushing boundaries, but I don't know how much I would be able to take, which is why I'm so excited to see how far my horror taste will go. It apparently involves a snuff film in this, a woman who is kidnapped and forced to be in a snuff film, and you probably know what a snuff film is. Am I going to throw up reading this? I should probably vlog it. Out of all of the books on this list though, that one terrifies me the most. And also I'm a little bit scared because McKay loves it so much. And when I read that, I will probably understand him a bit more as a person and what he's into. And I don't know if I want to find out. Quite honestly, I don't know if I want to. But you know, I'm me. And I'm willing to try anything at least 2-3 times, 4 times max. The rest of this list is made up by some recommendations from, well, McKay, but also Marcy reads, Katie Carlson, Gabby reads. We were in a live show together, and these were books that they were, you know, saying out loud, and I forgot who recommended what. So one of them is The Troop by Nick Cutter. This one does get under my skin because camping does freak me out a little bit, not gonna lie. I can't do it physically myself. You know, I did do a camping reading vlog where I read some, you know, a middle grade and a young adult horror. That was the most I could do. Could you imagine me reading this while camping outdoors, in the wilderness? I could never. But there are true stories that have stuck with me to do with camping and being outside in the woods that I'm so scared. I'm shaking now. I am literally shaking. And this one sounds like it might trigger that fear in me. So we follow a scoutmaster who takes 3 boys into the wilderness, the Canadian wilderness, on a camping trip. Oh god, I'm actually scared. I don't know if I can read the rest of the summary. Apparently, there is an intruder in the campsite. They are shockingly thin, disturbingly pale, and voraciously hungry. Oh, I don't think I can do that one. No, I don't think I can. No. Scratch that one off the list. I can't read it. Okay, next is Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. Do I want to read that one too? I don't know. I'm terrified by these people now. Why is there gotta be another cabin? Why? Okay, this one is set in a cabin. Apparently it was a contest-winning story on Reddit, and people on Reddit have incredible imaginations, let's put it that way. And apparently this was a romantic cabin getaway between, you know, a couple, a guy and a girl. I would actually love for it to be 2 guys. Or 2 girls, you know? Or 2 non-binary characters. That would just be incredible to me. But no, we have a cis straight couple. Now that's the true horror of this story. And I believe there is a figure outside whispering to the main girl character, and she is whispering back. That's what I'm getting from this summary. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to read too much into this summary because, I'm getting scared. I'm getting scared, guys. Another book they recommended was The Summer I Died by Ryan C. Thomas. If I'm starting to sound like my spirits are dropping through my arsehole, they are. I don't know what I've got myself into. I think I'm way over my head. It says this one is about two best friends that go to Bobcat Mountains, and they end up coming across a sadistic killer with a penchant for very sharp objects. Oh, apparently it's the first in a series called the Roger Huntington Saga. I see a review on Goodreads saying, if you have a weak stomach, run away from this and never look back. You what? I mean, I'm pretty okay with gore on screen, gore in movies and stuff. When it comes to books, it feels a lot more visceral and a lot more personal. I don't know why. I need to plug my camera in, otherwise it'll die. Oh, that rhymed. So again, I don't think there's actually that much more to the plot summary of that one. It is literally just two best friends finding themselves in the hands of a sadistic killer. What more do you need? Literally. When mentioning cannibal stories, McKay also suggested Succulent Prey by Wrath James White. Is it too late to cancel McKay? So I believe we follow Joseph, who, when he was a child, survived something. And now he is finding himself turning into a killer. And he doesn't know if he can stop himself. Interesting stuff. Apparently it's not for the faint of heart, weak stomachs, which is a recurring theme, or if you are a dear of horror, Stephen King and Dean Koontz. Shade. Apparently there is page after page drenched in blood. I'm not against it. Terrified, not against it. I mentioned that I'd read Off Season by Jack Ketchum and was so messed up by it because it was the first really true sadistic, visceral horror book I've ever read. And apparently that's boring to McKay. If this is the one that I should read, and it's better than Off Season by Jack Ketchum, then fair. Marcy Reed's also recommended is another cannibal story, The Devoured and the Dead by Christopher Rufty. And guys, if anybody's watching this who have read these books, can you let me know, are they leading me down a dark path? Because I am child. I am baby. This one follows three families who are traveling through the mountains of North Carolina, and they end up finding themselves stranded. Apparently one of their own dies and they have to do something in order to survive now that food's running low. And this reminds me of that true story about the plane crash in the mountains or something, where they had to literally eat some of the people who died in order to live. It sounds a little bit like that, but apparently this one unleashes a curse that won't stop until they are all devoured or dead. That one does sound really good, actually. I'm really, really glad Marcy suggested this one. It doesn't have literally barely any ratings on Goodreads for this one, so it looks extremely underrated. I'm extremely excited. Another one is Exquisite Corpse by Poppy Z. Bright. I'm not the biggest fan of the cover, but I don't want that to turn me off. I mean, I have no standards. It's very rare anything turns me off. But apparently to Andrew, I think the main character, murder is an art. And when Andrew escapes jail by faking his death, he wants to travel through United States of America in order to take his art to new heights. Apparently there are 4 characters where their lives will irrevocably be changed or terminated. It sounds totally different to some of the ones that I've just mentioned, like so different. And that's a good thing, because then I can get a little taste of loads of different kinds of horrors, you know? Horror isn't just one horror, it's horror is a million horrors, you know? This is just one of many million horrors. The next one, which I'm a little bit dubious by, which, you know, I've said a few times about these books, is Ritualistic Human Sacrifice by C.V. Hunt. I'm so apprehensive about this one because apparently there's like shit involved, like actual fecal matter. I don't know how I feel about that. I know I just said before that I have no standards, but, you know, I draw the line. I draw the line at Queen City Coronation, okay? I literally cannot tell you what this book is about because the summary is one of those summaries where it's just weird and it's very hard to make heads or tails of it. I'll just read the summary. I don't like just reading summaries, but I'm going to do it for this book. I don't think I could do it justice any other way. Nick Graves is a miserable man. Every day he comes home from his dream job to a stale marriage. On the day he finally summons the courage to tell his wife, Eve, he wants a divorce, she has exciting news for him. She's pregnant. Nick is a spiteful man. He pitches his dream home in an ideal location far away from family, friends, and co-workers. It's a life-changing decision he's chosen to make without Eve's consultation. Nick is a terrified man. He quickly realizes the residents of his new hometown are a bit eccentric. After a trip to a local doctor's office, Eve begins to behave strangely, and once Nick finds out what's really going on, he'll never be able to look at Eve the same way. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely do not know what to expect from this. Not a clue. It's going to be a weird one. I have read House of Leaves by Michael Z. Danielowski, and I really enjoyed that. That was really weird. I do like weird stuff. I just don't know about the shit. I don't know about the fecal matter. I don't know. This book needs to do a lot to convince me. Okay, the last book is The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. I know Katie from Katie Colson really enjoys this book, and I'm willing to give this one a go. I've heard good things about this one, and also really bad things. I've never read anything by Paul Tremblay before, but it'll be interesting to find out if Paul Tremblay is an author that I would want to read more of. Because they do have more that sound intriguing, just don't know if I'm going to like them. But when I read this one, because Katie enjoys it, I may end up giving the other ones a go too. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the main character is 7, called Wen. And, Eric and Andrew, are they same-sex parents? They vacation at a remote cabin on a quiet New Hampshire lake. Oh wait, actually, that just reminded me of what McKay said about this one. I still want to give it a try. Wen then befriends a boy called Leonard, and Leonard says some really weird cryptic stuff about how what's going to happen is not her fault, and some kind of violence is going to happen to her parents, and 3 strangers appear with really menacing looking objects, and Leonard says that they have to do this in order to save the world, or something like that. I do not know. It sounds like it could be intense. We're going to see if Katie is right on this one. So I guess there we have it. Those were the books that make me horny for horror. Like, I am so excited to read these. I think they're going to be awesome. Some of them I am genuinely so terrified to read. I don't know if I will be able to, but I will try and push myself to, and hopefully vlog it when I do, because I feel like I'm going to need you guys there for support in order to do that. Again, I'm baby, look after me. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see that, and also leave a like if you enjoyed this video. But thank you as well for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Do leave a comment down below. Let me know if any of these books you've read and if you would recommend them or maybe not. I do hope I will enjoy each and every one of them in their own way. I do want to give a huge thank you to my patrons as well. I love you guys so much, and if you want to follow me on any of my social medias or join my Patreon, everything is linked down in the description box. But yeah, that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye!